So hi, I'm Kishnell. I made this video black and white because I thought it would be fun. So I had some scrap papers lying around and I decided I'll try to make something out of it. A card to be exact. And by the way, it's raining outside, so I don't know what this is gonna sound like. So here's how I made a scrap paper card. I had two kinds of scrap papers lying around. I had the thicker ones and then I had the thinner strips of scrap paper. I figured you guys wouldn't have the same scrap paper that I had lying around. So I guess you just need to be a little creative if you want to do this project. But I'll still share with you guys what I did with the scrap paper I had, because why not, you know? Getting into this project, I wasn't really sure what to do, so I just winged it. I started by taking the thick scraps of paper that I had and separated it into two. One part for the bottom part of the body and the other part for the top. And after cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, I ended up with these measurements. And if you want to know how many pieces I had for each, here they are. So at this point, I wanted the design of the car to have this thing on the front where it gradually goes down, you know, like one of them Lambos. Yeah, one of them Lambos. Although I only did this with my memory of what I thought a Lambo would look like. I never searched for any pictures. Okay, going back, I placed the pieces of paper flat on the table and started leaning it towards one side. And I really like the way this looks. Kinda like a lot of little tiny stairs. Yeah, I did this for both pieces, making it more slanted on the top piece than the bottom piece. I then glued the side of the pieces which looked like the tiny cute stairs, and then I let that dry. And when that was dry, I then continued to glue all the other sides of the scraps. And when that was done, I took the top piece of the paper, I found the center, I measured it from end to end and not just from the top layer, and then I cut it in half, and then I flipped one half over, then glued the halves together. I then glued the bottom part of the body and the top. Yeah, I like using glue a lot. It's kind of my thing now, I guess. At least for now. Now that the body's done, I started to make the wheels. So for the wheels, I used the thinner strips of paper that I had. I would start rolling each strip up, and right before we reached the end of that strip, I would insert another strip and then continue rolling. So I kept rolling it until I got the size of the wheel I liked. I then glued the sides of the wheels. And since I am trying to make a car, I made 4 of those wheels, because cars have 4 wheels apparently. And after that, I got a whole piece of paper scrap from the last project that I made. I rolled it up with a pen. After that, I would stick my finger in and try to make the roll as small as I could. After that was done, I cut it down into 2 pieces that was the same length as the width of the body. I got a skewer and then cut it slightly longer than that. I glued one end of the skewer to a wheel, inserted the roll, and then glued another wheel to the other end. Then I did the same for the rest of the pieces. I then glued the pieces to the bottom, and BAM! So, here's my scrap paper car. Looks neat, right? I think it looks cool. Does it look like a Lambo? I'm not really sure, but I like the way it looks. And those wheels. I like the way the wheels turned out too. Tiny stairs. Turns out this car can go pretty far compared to the cars that I made in the past. And it's also the fastest one I've made, so take that for what it's worth. I'll show you with some B-roll.